Hello, ladies and gentlemen, to more The Stanley Parable Deluxe Edition. Starting at exactly 7 p.m., continue our game. I just hope that I don't forget where we left off. Oh, thank you, Drifter. Welcome, welcome, my friend. Always good to have you around, my friend. Whew. Thank you for the sunglasses. Oh, I'm glad that Stream Elements is also working well today. Got the right message across. Good evening, Drifter. It's been a pretty nice day for me. I read an entire book today. My eyes are a little dry, but it's okay. I've got my tea. I'm ready to read. Hopefully my cough is better. So far, it hasn't been that bad today. Hang on. Before we get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. But you actually take the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know that you care about this experience, that you're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the time you're setting is correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whatever time you want. Even if it's not the correct time, you've earned it. Yeah, an entire book, man. It's a night novel. It's a book club book, so I won't go into detail what kind of book it is, but I read the entire thing and this has a lot of pages, let me tell you that. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. Ah, yes. Back to our limbo.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Huzzah! Welcome back, everyone, as the game says. Also, I remember one of the endings that we have to do, of course, is coming back into this room. I completely forgot about the ending that the other dude told us to do.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's a very different game.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth?
Yes.
No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
I'm pretty sure this is the right door. I was looking at achievements.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Oh, greatness. We're gonna have to click it 430 times, don't we?
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley.
Oh, I'm
I want to see
hustling.
commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost.
Yes, of course.
Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417? Where's 417? Oh, is this a trap? Are you gonna... I know the door's gonna close behind me. I don't think I'll get back into this room. Alright, the computer still turns off like normal. 417. I'm surprised the achievement isn't from 420. Oh, there it is.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Okay, 437, you got it.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415?
Now, back to door number 437.
I know the narrator's screwing with us, but it's okay. We'll play along. We'll play along for now. 437? Where's 437? Oh.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Are we really? Really getting somewhere, Mr. Narrator?
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Oh, gracious. How do I... Oh my god.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
I don't even know we can climb on these things. Who else's desk can I climb on? Oh, sorry, one...
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
Also, is he a bit loud? Maybe it's just me. He is handling me, Drifter. He is certainly.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430! Yes! We did it!
Oh my god,
Oh,
that's
wow.
actually the
That felt
achievements.
amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes,
That's
I'm
fantastic.
very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks.
Whoa.
Really now, what were you thinking?
You're right. That was foolish of me, game. That's foolish of me. Let's see, what else? Oh, yes. Let's see if I can go back to our own room. No, I guess not. I don't know how to unlock the ending then for the... Going back to our own room one? What was that? We could interact with something just now. The little mouse popped up. Oh, the bucket, of course. It does look like the interactable computers now in the boss's room. So I guess we have to go back there.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
still the same as always. Somewhere both red and blue. A large room with lots of boxes. Isn't that just a storage room? Oh, these might be endings, actually. Because there's definitely more stuff crossed out since the last time we were here. Alright, good evening, Peanuts. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you here, my friend. Oh, goodness, yes, of course.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
A quick visit never hurts anyone. I hope your day's been going well, Peanuts.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Gorgeous broom.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing?
I'm sitting.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I'm sitting around doing nothing. Sometimes you gotta meditate on your life, Mr. Narrator.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Are you sure
I never
about
would have
that?
thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own
Oh,
place.
gracious. Hello, Palooka.
Maybe when you go talk about this with
Welcome,
your friends,
welcome.
you'll say, "Oh, did you
Quite
get
an
the
entrance.
broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite."
Oh yeah, the broom
I hope your
closet
friends
ending
find
is
this
also my
concerning.
favorite. It's strange though, we didn't get this much dialogue
Stanley
last
was
time we
fat
were
and
here.
ugly and really, really stupid. He
Okay,
probably only got the
Mr.
job
Narrator,
because of
dang,
a
you didn't
family
have to go
connection.
down.
That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Now you're just being mean, Mr. Narrator. How could you do this to me?
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to
Mr.
alert
Narrator's
someone
so
nearby
mean.
so as to ensure that your body is taken care of.
As
before
everyone,
it
I am
begins to
doing
decompose.
fantastic, Palooka. Thank you for
Hello?
asking.
Anyone who
Well,
happens
except
to
for
be
Miss-
nearby,
now, I
the
guess,
person
Mr.
at this
Narrator is
computer is dead.
insulting
They have fallen
me,
prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities.
implying
it's
that
indicative
you're not
of the
human,
long-term
Mr. Narrator.
sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative
Fellas
tropes
Max,
in
no.
video gaming, so that the irony
weren't supposed to
and
know about them.
insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Nah. No suspicious mags. Definitely not. I don't know what you're talking about. Been bored until straw starts. Oh, I'm glad that you find my streams so entertaining. Peanuts, that's always pleasant to hear. A pleasure to hear. There you go. Gracious. Corpse, no! Do not eat. Are you guys cats? Don't eat my corpse. I do wonder what I would taste like, though. Probably mostly paper. Rapunzel told us she loaned you the... Oh, Rapunzel. Sometimes she confesses too much at those confession booths. I guess that really is it.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Oh, are you sure about that?
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
She also stole all my sauce from under my bed? Oh dear. Well, I hope she wasn't stealing any jars of white sauce, where I had to unfortunately inform her of what that actually is. Duh, gracious. Hello, Costa Shell. Nice. Hello, hello. Really, Mr. Nerd? Only 2 times? Okay, whatever. 2 is plenty, I guess.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yes, I have. Finally found a broom. And, oh, not really ending. Finally got the broom closet dialogues, which is interesting because we didn't get last time. White sauce, do you even want to ask? What do you want to know? I wish it was afternoon. Oh, gods, I wish so too. I've squandered the entire day away to just reading books. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Well, that quote is different now. It used to be about the boss. Now it's just about being rich. That one's locked. No elevator for us. And the computer's also not on this time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human
Yes,
life.
I remember the password now.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Yes.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Wow. So calming.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Alright, so we do. Oh wait, hold on. Is the door open? No, it's not. It's just darkness. I thought it was a gaping hole. Oh yes, good evening everyone. Well, morning,
Descending
afternoon.
deeper into the building, Stanley
Whatever time you
realized
guys
he
are in.
felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Yes, I don't think we've ever
Whoops.
gone up it
Nope.
before.
Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up.
Yes.
Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Oh, me neither. Let's find out. See if anything changed. Nope, nothing interactable.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your
Oh, I thought-
boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is.
Oh man.
What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again.
Some
This
neighbors,
has fleshed
yes.
out the plot of the story in new and
My little
fascinating ways
chubby
I could
birds.
have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Wow, Mr. Narrator. But yes, my birds. Got them about 1.5 years now. They're very chubby. I think I feed them way too much seeds. I try to feed them more vegetables so they can, you know, have a healthier lifestyle. Yeah, they're little parakeets. A blue and yellow one. I'll be sure to send you a picture later on Discord then. Maybe a video. Well, most likely a picture though. They're quite hard to get on video. They move around way too much. Your old co-workers have like 8 birds? God dang. What kind of birds were they? Were they also parakeets or parrots of some sorts? Guess there's nothing up here.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Oh my god, can we go back up again? Oh, yes, we can. Hold on.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Maybe not.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Oh, it's killing me, Mr. Narrator. But yes, happy morning to them, because birds are quite loud. They love singing the songs of their people, especially in the morning. What's that? Is that like a figurine? No, it's a guitar. Whoa!
Oh my god. It's the boss's office.
Whoa!
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
Alright. Oh. Oh my. I know, right? I never would have expected the boss's office again. Ghost in the Shell. Riveting new contents.
I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
Oh, flippin' fantastic. I love these stripper birds. I used to have one of them. Until I broke it. Need another one in my life.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it.
Have you?
I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Master Stanley, look at you. Being so formal and submissive.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before.
Are you sure?
I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is.
Oh,
a
yeah,
breath
sure.
of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Of course. Of course. Wait, just one more. Just one more. Hold on. Maybe we'll get a little closer to the boss's office.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I think it might be the last one, though. But just to make sure, you know, just to make sure. Submissiveness has nothing to do with this. Are you sure?
You know what?
Are you sure? Oh,
I
God,
just
we're going
thought
so
of this.
fast.
Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Oh, gracious.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal.
Gotta edge the players.
Storytelling, Stanley. What
You're
you
right.
and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want
thinking of this
stories
is
that
pretty
surprise
insane.
me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all
I know,
the time,
right?
and we
Cheap
all
jump
know it,
scares. We
which
don't
is why
want those
we're
anymore.
so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you. So that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh good, we're here.
Oh, this is not the boss's office.
Okay, the room
Oh,
we're
no!
holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Mr. Narrator, come on now. Not one last ride before this? But absolutely, Drifter, I agree, man. It's absolutely insane the amount of thoughts that go into this game. It's so funny, though. And knows the basic instinct of players. All eyes on Stanley, live on stage. World's healthiest human being. Doctors hate them. How we did it, the pyramids. Live, the guy who went to Mars. Now that's one impressive. That one looks like a real documentary. Stanley reviews in all his new books. He looks like the guy where people put posters on, like, have you seen this guy in your dreams? But yep, a new place, Palooka. Let's see what this is about. World peace, baby. Well, that's nice. Stanley live today. The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. Stanley from the Stanley Parable.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
World's first sentient machine. Oh, we're probably getting close to that now. Stanley looks dead to the side, probably. Doing great. A conversation with Alexander the Great.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay,
Aw,
it
Mr.
looks like they're
Narrator.
ready for you. Go get 'em.
Also, I think this is the first time we've seen his last name. Stanley Ryder. Full name. Almonds, chairs, gum, table, nut bar. Interesting. Stanley looks dead and he's always dead, man. At this point, he's a corpse, even before we got to controlling him. The dude who came up with pizza. Now that's impressive. Impressive that he's still alive, too. Can we jump off of here? No, we cannot climb. Wait, hold on. Nope, never mind. National Geographics. What is that image? It looks freaky. Stanley. Indoors monthly. Not outdoors, indoors. 427. Ah, that's us. And those look like little eyeballs looking at us. Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from. Your co-workers. Where are they, anyways? An unforgiving accounts of ups as well as downs. Highs and lows isn't what life's about. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Venture aways. I played the demo. Mind control facility. I went to the mind control facility and all I got is this lousy sticker. Now that is the sticker I want. Yep, got our own powder room and everything. I feel like I would absolutely hate one of these in my real life though. I cannot stand bright lights. What is that? A ball? Can't pick it up though. The Lord. What does that say? Feature keynote speaker. The Lord meet and greets. I'm supposed to meet the Lord. Whoa. Alright. That is so loud. Oh my lord. Alright, my eardrums. They're about to pop on my head. Oh, gracious. Ah. Oh no, I missed it. Oh man. The bucket? There's something about the bucket. Bucket?
All of his co-workers were gone. What?
Okay, well, no, it's just too silent.
Demean. Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Lights too bright, too many people, too loud, yeah. I was trying to turn
No matter
back,
how
but
hard Stanley looked,
doesn't
he
look like
couldn't
we're
find
able
a
to.
trace of his co-workers.
Currently at 14. The following amounts: 11 cockatiels, 1 cherry head contour, or conure, 1 Patagonian conure, 1 sulfur-crested cockatoo. Wow. Expensive birds, too, damn. 1 cockatiel is at least a few $100, I believe. Whew. Also they must dedicate quite
Stanley
a lot
went
of their
around
day.
touching every little thing in the office, but it
cleaning
didn't make
them
a
up.
single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Wait, hold on. I remember we were to climb up here.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized
Yes.
it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
Wow.
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Nah.
Ah, then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one?
It's probably
Imagine
the
if
same.
you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever.
Alright.
Cheers.
Cheers. Pikachu bird. I think a Pikachu bird is the cockatoo. Or cockatiel. Peanuts. They're the little birds that have a yellow head and a crest as well with little pink cheeks on their face. See, all of them are rescues. Oh my god. That's actually really nice. I don't know if you have to pay for rescue birds. I've never rescued any birds myself, but that's nice of your boss. Using his resources to help animals. I would love to open an animal sanctuary one of these days, man. Although I don't know if how good I am at caring for animals. Maybe it's not a good idea. I'll stick with my non-living computers. Oh, no, not your boss. Oh, okay, my bad, my bad. Oh, yes, your co-worker. I'm sorry. I don't know why I read that as your boss. It's nice of your co-workers to do so. Nothing to say this time?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No matter how hard Stanley
Okay, let's
looked,
try the
he
other ending
couldn't
now.
find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its
Pikachu
examination of
cockatiels,
structural
absolutely,
narrative
man.
tropes. So,
I think there was a
now that you're
YouTuber I
here,
follow
what do you
that
think?
actually just
Isn't
named
this a
their
fun and
cockatiel
unique place
Pikachu?
to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Sure.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people
Considered what? Gracious.
But the truth must be
Thanks.
told, he was not
Cousin
very old and was quite particularly gangly.
So many people.
What Stanley liked
gangly.
most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton.
Thanks for the peanuts.
He did it all day in a meaningful way.
Some snacks stuck
But
in
his
his void.
brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable.
Great song.
You too will become quite unbearable.
Wow. There's a woodpecker one in South America too. Like a woodpecker pets? I don't think I've ever seen anyone own a woodpecker before. That'd be an interesting one. Needs more realism. Realism for what? Peanut throwing? Or this game. I don't know how much realer this game can get being a Ghost in the Shell. You know, this kind of stuff happened to everyone on just a regular Tuesday, man. Don't you also get into an alternative reality where everything and everyone just disappears? And you suddenly have a disembodied voice talking to you? Could have bills, oh gracious. I don't know if Stanley could even handle bills. Alright, let's get out of here. I don't think there's anything new. Same time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe. Oh no, it started over again. It's back to 0. Maybe it's because I quit the game and started over. I'll take you
Stanley
with us.
lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Jumping at least? Yeah, it does need some jumping at least, man. Alternately, it happens a lot every time you daydream. Well, there you go. See, Palooka? See, Ghost in the Shell? Realism right here. This is realism. Happened to Palooka plenty of times. Why not to Stanley?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Peak realism. Pick of it in Discord? Pick of one in Discord. Let me look at that real quick. Oh! Oh my god, Pikachu! Pikachu woodpecker! Oh my god, I've never seen a woodpecker so colorful before. And that's an interesting bird. Alright, still boxes in the blue and red doors that we haven't found yet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Let's go down, but the bucket this time.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for
Right
that.
back, no
And in
worries.
such
Take
a
your time,
competitive
Drifter.
economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket.
Am I
The
crazy?
bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up
betrayal.
with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this.
where'd it
Who
come
knows
from?
what
Where'd it
sorts
go?
of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of
Our
his
bucket.
And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket,
gracious.
I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it.
Where did it go?
Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me!
Oh my god.
The bucket!
Mr.
Could it
Buckets!
truly be?
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his
Where's our
special
buckets?
bucket.
Where's our special
Come to me,
buckets?
Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend.
The
It
sticker
was the
bucket.
only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from.
Where?
The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Oh my god.
It was incredibly painful.
Oh no.
Stanley doubled over in agony.
Ugh.
He blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
We became the buckets.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket.
Yeah.
Of course,
We
he'd
didn't have a
gone
bucket.
mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented
companion
if
cube.
only he'd taken his
If
bucket
only
with
we
him.
had him.
Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought.
I know,
And she
Marielle.
hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Flipped. Wow, that's impressive, Marielle. It backflipped all the way back to work, huh? Ah, we're back here again. Need a companion cube to ground our mind. We definitely do, man. We did see an ending in the archive room that had the portal in it, so maybe we will see it if we are able to find it somehow.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to
indeed a
himself,
buckets.
is to wait.
Peanuts.
Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break
If
me.
we buckled under
In
weight
here I
still.
can be happy forever.
Buckling under the
I will be
weights.
happy. Stanley
Peanut
waited.
buckets.
Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He
No,
no
it
longer
hasn't.
had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Wow, what a great ending. Nothing happened. Time's back to where it is. Again, maybe?
But Stanley simply couldn't
Ah,
handle
no,
the
it's
pressure.
just the same thing. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked,
What was that
he
sound?
couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
There's something really loud for a second there. Were you
Stanley went
printing?
around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Are you sure? What's that sound? It's like a grinding sound. Sound. Ah, here's the second one. Need 3 more. Were you here before? I don't think there was a balloon on this chair before. Maybe I was just blind.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, what is that sound? Sounds like wind.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, absolutely. Our beloved lounge. Our second favorite inanimate object. Can't put it in front of a bucket.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here,
It's me.
drinking
I'm
it
in
all
your
in.
walls? Oh dear. Well, I have a surprise for you, Ghost in the Shell.
Yes.
Got my
really
comfort
worth it
axe
being here in the room.
Next to me.
A room so utterly captivating.
Emotional
that
support
even though
axe.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Please, oh no. It's okay, I'll break you out. Ghost in a shell. I'll get you out of your shell. Promise.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Rage quit. Raw rage quit to the wall now. Rage quit to the wall? Oh, gracious. Oh, wait. Secrets. Oh, wait. 2 secrets. Hold on. I gotta get that collectible first, obviously. This is some risky biscuits.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it.
Wow.
We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
I wonder if they made real merchandise from those figure anarines. Wait, isn't a room with a lot of boxes? I think this was one of the secrets, isn't it? Well, I die if I get down from here. I know we die at a certain height, but since we're lower now, maybe I can survive.
But in his eagerness
Oh,
to prove
God.
that he is in
Never
control
mind.
of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Oops. Alright, let's try that ending again. Clearly that was
All
not
of
the
his
correct path.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Crunch. We go. Stanley hamburger. Patty.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
5
just to admire
doors.
it. Wow. Yes.
What's the 5
this
doors
room.
doing?
But
Are they
eager to
having a
get back to
meeting?
business, Stanley took the
What would
first
Doros
open
even
door
talk
on his
about?
left.
Are they like Pokemons where they just talk in Doro-ish?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Alright. So that's definitely not the correct path, so let's go this way. Now, where in the world? Oh! Catch. Looks like a shopping list.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path.
Oh dear.
That it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office
Doronice,
had begun.
maybe?
So far
Doros
off
is
the beaten
speaking
path that it seemed the office had
Dororitos.
begun.
Oh my god, you know
So
what?
far
That's
off
the official language now.
that it seemed the office had begun. So
Doros
far off the
speaking
beaten path
Dororitos.
that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had
Oh
begun.
no.
So far off the
Cats.
beaten path
that it seemed
Gene.
the office had begun from so far off the beaten path, that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path, that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path, that it seemed the office had begun
Narrator
from so
dialogue.
far off the beaten path, that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path, that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path, that it seemed the office had begun
Narrator
from so far
dialogue.
off the beaten path, that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording?
It's the
It was all
serious
just
table.
in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main
Cat's
character's
Planet.
imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights.
Oh, yes.
How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do.
So much.
Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Hey, don't blame me for that. Oh, shite. Oh, no.
But Stanley simply couldn't.
Locked myself in. Alright, we're
A
not doing
soft
that
wind
ending.
blew outside and perhaps rain started.
Oh.
And if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Yeah, that would be nice. And also, you are definitely seeing something different. That's interesting. I was wondering what that sound was. I guess it really was rain. Maybe we can catch some water if it's raining.
The
right?
confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Can we catch rain if it's raining outside?
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed,
Wow.
desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger.
If only.
Of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself.
Yes.
Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket?
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred
gracious.
amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and
Bucket
could not
lore.
conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You...
Wow, Stanley, you have quite the voice.
This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley
The
screamed and
Lord of the
screamed and
Buckets, I
screamed,
know, right? Doesn't
the
it sound
bucket
like
revealed its
that?
true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold
Wow.
power, its fangs glistening like...
Oh, gracious.
My God, Stanley.
Oh my
You did
god!
it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems
Wow,
of sages
that's-
and knew the incantations to summon their true power.
Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power.
That
I'm
is
speechless. You've
dark.
demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket.
We need
nor
Bucket
the
Dwarf,
dark
that's what we
magic cast away inside
Bucket
of it.
Dwarf to save us. Oh man. Who knew Bucket had such a dark past? Oh, the chair's not interactable. How have I never noticed that before? I thought I could climb it. I was gonna try to climb on top of our table, but doesn't look like we can do that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What could it mean? It's 11 p.m. for me. Gotta get up really early tomorrow. Oh, well, thank you for checking in, Palooka. Good nights, and sweet dreams.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in
Don't
the
get
office,
stuck in
but it
limbo
didn't
like
make
Stanley.
a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Or else you might never get out. Evil. Buckets. Unbelievable. Backstory. Evilness. To contain the buckets ourselves.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
So remember there's one ending that you told me about, Drifter. Trying to land on the bridge. I'm gonna go ahead and try to do that
The
now.
lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Climb these? No. Cannot. Alright, let's see.
Look,
Where the
Stanley, I
bridge?
think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Oh yes, we did that ending. A few minutes before. I think it might have been during when you were gone, Drifter. Oh, no worries, no worries. We've gone up the ramp. Danger, danger everywhere. Oh yeah, the bucket was actually the most dangerous of them all. He was a war criminal. Doing his bidding for the evil wizard. Where are we? Do not stand on this side of the fence. Well, that's too bad. No bucket past this. Okay, we gotta bring our bucket next time. No bucket past this point. Bucket secrets?
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
That's right. The bucket was a great, horrifying, terrible war criminal from the Great Wizard War.
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly.
Hello,
Savor
Grim
this
Reaper.
moment, Stanley.
Welcome, welcome.
This is a real accomplishment.
Doing more Stanley
This
today.
is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
I'm still gonna take that as a reward. Despite everything, we can still teabag. Sorry, which door did you say we should go through? I completely forgot what you said
Oh,
before.
thank God you are willing to listen to me.
This is
Do
the
you
right
see
one.
that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop.
Great, it's a
We
loop.
would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Oh dear.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
What are we looking for? Go back off the beaten path. Nope, never mind. We're stuck here. What is that?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Do you?
No, wait. Where are you going?
Where are we going? Oh, secret? It's a girl with a dog. They're playing fetch, I think. On a sunny day.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Oh. Whoa. Some more colors now.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here. No. What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
Well, I mean, just gotta check, Mr. Narrator.
You are going to stay here, aren't you?
Probably not, Mr. Narrator. Or I guess that's it. No more dialogues. I wish there was actually a run button in this game.
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
Ah, we don't actually die, Mr. Narrator. You know that as well as I.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Ooh,
No!
ouch.
Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Oh, it's our. Ooh, whoa, my goodness.
There. See?
So red.
This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can.
Oh, it's so bright.
If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving. Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
Come on, Mr. Narrator. It has to be done.
No. No, what are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Nothing, frankly. Ooh.
Stanley,
Let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Yes.
We're getting slower.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Did the room get whiter?
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
There's a lot of things that convince you. Are you sure? I don't know how much these sparkly lights can convince me of a good
No.
life.
Perhaps not.
No, absolutely not, Mr. Narrator. They got the sound perfectly, though. These plasma lights, the little zapping noise when you walk under them.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
Oh,
Am I
no.
reading the situation correctly?
Nothing like that, Mr. Narrator.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
I don't think even I know either, Mr. Narrator.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish I still thought that was possible.
Well, I'm glad I'm able to change your mind. Now we can both be, I guess, absolutely devastated in this limbo of a world with Stanley. Oh, we're so slow now, though. I think our legs are broken. Oh, thanks, you Ghost in the Shell. I thought that was the sound from the game for a second there. I was like, that sounds so familiar. What's happening? That's right, we've become Stanley. We've been here for so long. We're no longer straw. We're a stranger to ourselves.
Is it over?
Oh.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
I guess we are. Cause yours, no! Identity theft is a real crime, Peanuts. It's a serious crime. Alright, let's take Bucket with us this time, because last time we were there it says that Bucket's not allowed. Oh, this is different.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I
Figglers.
haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life?
Sure.
Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness?
I was gonna stop
Yes,
and
I
I'm gonna call
know we're
911.
supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one
boy.
more time.
Okay, Mr. Narrator. Yes, Ghost in a Shell. What is it? I'm glad you're using my correct name. Okay, nothing interactable. Back here again. Can we get out of this zone? Climb? Cannot climb. This looks really climbable, but I guess not. No climbing for us. Oh, this is missing. Was this here before? Our first kiss, our first car, My first car, the release of Stanley Parable in 2013. You feel like you need to touch grass again? Yeah, apparently. Apparently. 'Cause the first time we didn't touch enough grass. But yeah, one of them are missing. I forgot what it was though. Something on this podium. Stanley is too lazy to climb. Well, he need to start climbing now. Get out of bounds. It's a black cup. I don't think we've ever seen this before.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
What is that? Oh no, it locked me out. Can't go back anymore. Oh man.
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane,
7.
unremarkable ways.
Oh, I should have collected the other one too.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand? Do you remember?
I think it's this one.
No. Under the stairs was the 4th place you found a figure.
Oh, my
not
bad.
the 3rd. Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. Memories like these are so precious and so cherished that they all just sort of blend together, don't they? You know what?
Yeah.
If under the stairs feels like the 3rd place you found a collectible,
Whoa.
then who am I to go making judgments?
Oh, that scared me for a bit.
Let's see. What came next?
Well, this is definitely not it. Straw pad memory. Oh dear.
Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room.
No, we
well,
did not.
I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
No, definitely not. Also, just whispering. I think this fig is whispering to us. Oh, this is a room with a lot of boxes too.
This was the 5th mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this
That's
one is
open.
particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion.
Did you?
Enjoy.
Oh, flippin' fantastic. Wow, that's where we found it. Near the cargo lift. Everything by the near. Oh, starring Stanley.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
What was that sound? Elementary school slide, like a slideshow. I love them though. I unironically love them. It's just so funny. Something so funny about it. Windows Movie Maker. That's what's good about the Drifter. That is what gives it that quality. It's like enjoying the plastic taste in certain foods, you know? Is this Papers, Please? Glory to Aristotzak. I can't pronounce it. That is definitely Paper, Please.
And then,
nice.
Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps
yes.
because it was the one that happened more recently than
Black
all the
mold.
others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figly and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other.
Wow.
Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
That looks like a illusion of choice. Microplastic, basically. The delicious microplastic taste in our everyday food now. You just can't get enough of it, right? It's almost addicting. Straw movie. It is actually, in fact, a movie about us, since I'm Stanley now. 2006. YouTube looking. Oh my god. I've watched so many AMVs back then. It's ridiculous. Oh yeah, illusion of choice. You are in the present.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move
The
on
macroplastic,
into the future.
oh boy.
Goodbye, memory zone.
What does that look like?
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards.
Yes.
We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Sure. Whoa, Inception. Ooh. Oh, thank you for the hydration, Drifter. Cheers. Present place, present time. Presently. Oh, yes. Posture check.
Okay, yes, the
Spine
room
in
with
order.
the red and blue doors. I remember this.
Ooh, more
I
figurines.
must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Right, of course. Can't close it. Keep my spine straight. The paper, please, still here. Man, there's so many little Easter eggs in this game. It's fantastic. I probably missed a dozen already.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Can I die here? Oh, gracious. Missionary, you scared the
Yes,
flippin' hell out of me.
I love that video.
Thank you for the head pats, Ghost in the Show. Nice, calming head pats. Well, narrator, jump scare me. Can I die here? I cannot. Oh man, invisible barrier. No. Oh my god, peanuts. Ooh, so many peanuts. Invisible barriers.
Still don't
whispering
remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
I guess. Worshipping apples, I guess. Man, those peanuts really been coming in handy, though. I don't think we would survive this long without the rations. Stanley's been eating nothing but peanuts for the last 3 years.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know,
This is being
if
stuck
there
here.
had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
I thought for a second there it opened. Guess we can't go this way. Okay then.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too.
Second
The
Figley.
past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the Figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
What came before it? Did this come before? I guess it did. The collectibles. Collect them all. Ominously black. Oh my god. More jumps? Jump circle?
Look, it's the terrible new content
Oh.
that we were originally sold on.
Still
I
zero.
remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on
No.
everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Zero jumps.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Same location.
And before everything else, there was your office.
Yes.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
1 minute's passed.
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go
Sure.
back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good.
Sure.
I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
That one's kind of sweet. I like that ending.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
We're locked in. I look for secrets anyways. Can we bring a bucket with us this time?
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Oh yes, Mr. Buckets. You may be a war criminal, but you're our war criminal. Take you with
Stanley
us.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
No more figurine whiteboard.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh. I wonder what the conditions are to open this door. It's locked sometimes, but it's not locked this time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation,
What's
Stanley
that
may have
sound?
broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos.
What's that
It
sound?
would be with him, always.
Gracious.
The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Wow.
Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Probably.
Was the bucket guiding him?
I know,
Yes,
right? Sounds like
this
a
is
jet
certainly
engine.
the most logical explanation.
Oh, no, it's around the bosses. Huh. Bosses, area. Doesn't look like anything's interactable, though. But a noise is coming from this area.
The elevator raced downward,
Gas torch,
plummeting
possibly.
towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
Yes.
Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right.
We will
The
be.
bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Oh my. Huh. Well, then I do wonder what this could mean for us then. The sounds around the boss's
Stanley and the
office.
bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Waffle maker, possibly.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Pancakes are good, but waffles slightly better. Depends, though. If you're talking about those Japanese super fluffy pancakes, then pancakes clears the board. But normal waffles, though, normal waffles are good. Waffles have Waffle House? Oh my.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Yes, I'll be fine. What is that screen? See, that one under 233 seems to be out of commission. Sorry, what were we doing? That's how real officers are like, is this? Is this how real officers are like? God dang.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Work for an evil wizard, apparently. Straw suit hidden sauce videos. Oh my. No, there's not my videos. Those are Rapunzel's videos. Imagine me need those KPIs.
No!
I
He
guess so.
screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Only the buckets.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world.
Yes.
They high-fived in a really cool way.
Yes.
And the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Yes, we shall do that.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Off.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy,
Wow.
freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through
gracious,
and begin
Ghost
watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Uh-oh.
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable
Strawberry
silence filled the
sundaes.
room, lingering in uncertainty.
That does
Until
sound
finally
good,
the
Peanut.
truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility
no.
itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket.
No, our freedom.
Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
And
To be
peanuts.
trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Oh dear. I don't want to find out. Oh. I guess we found out anyways. There's a phone ringing.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you
Yes.
verify that this is correct?
Yes.
Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Yay! Fantastic. Yeah, strawberry sundae on a Sunday sounds appropriate. Is strawberry sundae a thing though? I always know that a regular not a parfait, regular sundae is like chocolates, right? Can't find any more special screens.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest
It's already
and
opened.
entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find out. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Have all types of fruit sundaes. Nice. What kind of fruit sundaes are there? And what's your favorite one? And it's the same quotes. Yeah, this is open now. Any changes with Mr. Bucket with us? Here, we'll go down. It's loud ass music. You don't have anything like that? Well, normally when I just order a sundae, the only thing they give me excuse me, the only thing they give me is like chocolate. Or I guess the only other fruit flavors I had is like a banana sundae. No, sorry, not a banana sundae. What am I talking? Banana splits. There you go. That's the right name for it. I think I'm suffering from a heat stroke. Let me turn air conditioning on. It is so unbelievably hot in my room right now. I think it's being cooked alive. Chocolate? What do you mean? Chocolate's good. Oh
Stepping
no!
into his manager's
special-
office, Stanley was once again stunned
Oh,
to
I missed the
discover not
screen.
an indication of any human life.
God dang it.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Too
Was
sugary.
the bucket
Maybe
guiding
dark
him?
chocolate's more flavorful
Yes,
for you.
this
then.
is certainly the most logical explanation.
Do you eat dark chocolate? I'm almost tempted to doing the elevator one again with the bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Dark chocolate, best chocolate. Oh, absolutely. Dark chocolate's
The
flippin'
lights
delicious.
rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
Vanilla
Stanley
on
and the
top.
bucket
That, you
both
know what? That
wondered to
sounds pretty good.
themselves.
Dark chocolate with vanilla ice cream. Oh, goodness. The sweetness and bitterness that balances each other out, man. I guess it's the reason why people like coffee so much too, but unfortunately
The
coffee
monitors
is
jumped
too
to
strong
life,
for me.
and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
Too
The
much
bucket
chocolate.
had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears. as
probably
Stanley
for the-
cradled it
for the
gently, reassuring
better.
it that everything would be fine.
Since chocolate's quite expensive. At least the good chocolate, the good stuff is quite expensive.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
I don't know.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
It's cheap, it's probably not real chocolate peanuts.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept
Or
it.
at least
His
it's
own
been
life in someone
mixed with
else's
something
control.
else.
Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could
Let me
trust
try
no one
Wits
except
Tinker's
for the
chocolate.
bucket.
Ooh. Probably mentioned that before, but I'm gonna screenshot this again so I remember it for later.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
It's a New
And
Zealand
as the
chocolate.
cold
I has tried
reality
it
of his
before.
past began to
Nice.
sink in,
How'd she
Stanley
like it?
decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he
Actually-
and the bucket would dismantle. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
Oh, no.
Stanley gasped in horror.
Buckets!
Had this been the bucket's plan all along?
How
To
could
take
you?
over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when
Buckets.
suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Try the peanut butter one. Ooh. Oh.
Birds. Silly, silly birds.
Ah.
The control buttons became active again.
Interesting. That. Oh, nice. Macaws.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the
peanut butter
bucket
one
never
sounds
found
like,
freedom because they spent the
Reese's
rest of their
Pieces.
lives here in this
Reese's
place,
Cups.
flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
It's like they knew.
Of all
I
the
know,
possible
right?
paths his life could have taken,
They knew
this
I
one
love birds.
was surely the best.
It really
And
is the
Stanley
best.
Was happy.
I am happy too. It's a very happy straw. Those hummingbirds. New Year, I mean, finger moving more than they should. Oh, another phone call. Oh, there is a lot of boxes. Can we climb it? Cannot. Just more cups too. Well, how am I supposed to get to the phone? Oh no, I'm gonna miss it. Maybe if I wait long enough, I'll go to messages. No, yeah, me moving. Because you use this lightning bolt. Oh no. Well, thank goodness there wasn't any cockatiels in that video. Okay, nothing's happening. Even though oh, is it this phone? No, it's not that phone. It's the phone over there, but I can't get to it. Can I climb on these tables? Is it a puzzle? Maybe it is a puzzle. Oh, I cannot. Whoa! There's so many boxes. Is this what Supermarket Simulator looked like? That's crazy. There's not a distinct lack of boxes. There's an excessive amount of boxes. Well, I think we got the boxes ending now. And the narrator is very quiet. I'm a little concerned. Narrator be teasing. They do be teasing. And they're not talking either. So many boxes.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Depending on which one have more boxes.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh no, did I screw up? Doesn't seem to be any more boxes.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Alright, let's try going on the ramp again.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Really?
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you
Zero.
that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Oh,
Why,
yes.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you
Oh
something
no, I forgot to bring the
beautiful.
bucket.
Look, let me prove it.
Ah, well.
Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
We did that last time, so let's go through the blue door this
Aha,
time.
perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nah, my boy.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
No red. No.
All
More
right,
like that
fine,
blue
go ahead,
door.
Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Oh,
Was it
yes.
worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for
100%.
you? Do not think I put a lot of time into that, because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see.
Oh, yes.
Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work
That'd be
with me. You've
wonderful.
given me absolutely nothing so far.
Open
Tell you
world,
what,
please.
Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Sure.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Office space. Oh, I'm so tempted to just go through a regular door, but maybe next time.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
So-so.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes?
Nah, probably not.
Wonderful. Here, based on the data
Souls-like
from your
combat,
previous
I would
playthrough,
implode.
I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it
My
out of the
reaction is
park with
so
this one.
slow.
Let's take a
I
look.
am not built for those games.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Here, lower a score. You made me do the same thing again.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Okay.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game.
all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
Wow.
I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be
Oh,
sure
that's
to
not
keep
happening.
notes on your experience.
Oh god, it's so loud. Ugh. Let me just. I think it's this one. Sound effects. Full volume now. My eardrums are gonna pop. Jack in the game. Oh no. Oh dear. I would assume you guys are quite young then. Young blood in my chats. I want to be here forever? What if you just go in the fire?
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try.
Burn,
I'm
baby,
out.
burn.
I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful,
Better
why
be
don't we
in the
play someone
basement.
else's game?
You'd rather
just to ease
burn?
the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Ooh.
Ah, fascinating. What do you think
Firewatch.
this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory?
I love
what is
this
our
one.
motivation?
I played it before.
Well, it seems
Although I
obvious
never
to me
finished it.
that you are meant to play as a creepy man, spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your
Who
creep
watches
tower.
the
Perhaps
fire
for some
match?
sort of twisted
Who
erotic
watches the
purpose.
Firewatch? Who
Yes,
watches the
that must be it.
Firewatch?
What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more.
Much
Come,
less
let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Uninteractable. 0 out of 10 gameplay. In the actual Firewatch game, you can interact with everything. You need to play Firewatch? You should! The story is pretty flippin' fantastic. Although I never finished it. I played it halfway and then I stopped and just never got back to it. Is anything around? More Easter eggs? I go played it. It's nice. How'd she like it? And did she ever finish it? Unlike me. No stairs or ladder? There is in fact stairs. I was just looking around to make sure I wasn't missing any secrets.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
Can't be what? Oh, we're missing our outdoor potty station. Man. It was a nightmare when she drove the RV. Oh yes, from the few driving streams she did. Oh no, there it is. Our outdoor
It is.
resting
It's an
station.
open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
No!
Oh,
My open
thank
world!
goodness, Stanley, what a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That
Man.
big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any...
I know, right? Where should it go? It's the most important thing.
Thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
Let's see if the
Preferably something with
backgrounds still
walls.
exist.
Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Still
Okay,
exists.
I think this will be just the thing.
Oh, her playing Euro tricks was painful to watch.
Wonderful. See, this is
Oh, dear.
exactly what I had in mind.
Oh, now
Just
this
a
is a
nice
game I don't
big box for
recognize.
you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now
I have
this
no
is
idea what
game
this
design.
game is.
Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will
I
be
don't play too much
phenomenally
PvP though,
impressed.
so not too surprising.
Okay,
Oh,
so what
Rocket
exactly
League.
do
There you
we
go,
do
that's the
here?
game.
Let's see. There are lots of
Yeah,
cars here in
there's
the
the
back, but
name.
obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together.
Brain dead a little
Yes,
bit.
I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Where's the ball? Oh. Whoa, we're going fast. Look at that. Our speed is... We're zooming. Whose team are we playing? Here. We'll be on the blue team. Going to the red goal. Hooah. Yeah, I think we are brain damaged, especially since we're using our brain to hit the ball right now.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun?
Yes.
Is it better than my miserable... Hold on. What are you doing?
Oh dear. Ooh.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oops. My bad. Where am I? Oh dear, this is like a maze. Oh, we're falling again. Well, this is new. Is this an early version of the game? They're real back rooms. Nipple nights. Oh, look at that. The 2 doors. The very first iteration. Ooh, how do I get in there? Can't really see what it's about though. Back to our office, of course. Back where we belong. Oh, it's an editing software. There's some monitoring going on. There's more light now. I guess we have to follow the light.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
Will you?
The end will be here soon. Very soon.
How
I can
exciting.
wait.
Found a 2 chocolate. I go try it from a Discord. So posting. Thank you, Drifter. I am definitely interested in them. Sounds like good chocolates. Huh. I guess we started over. Okay.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
That's
No
different.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, right, bucket. Bring him with us this
A good
time.
old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Oh, yes.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
2D.
And here it was. Had the
No
bucket
bucket
turned out to be
allowed room.
correct? Was this no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Oh,
Stanley
no,
took the
sorry,
door on his
buckets.
left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Sure.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
Are you
But
sure?
Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Well, I don't think this is unthinkingly, narrator, but... Let's keep going. Danger, danger everywhere. 2D, no bucket allowed zone with our buckets. Here it is.
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a
You're
bucket?
right, this is technically
I
a
suppose
cup.
that would explain a
It's
lot
just a
about
very
your
big
behavior
cup.
up to this point. Which, if
Straw to
that's
the
true,
unthinkable.
well, my goodness, I think we have to do something
Someone
about
has
it.
to, right?
This misunderstanding
Let's
could
break
have
all the
dire
barriers.
consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh, gracious.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Sure.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Wow.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Definitely not, that's a cup.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What? How was I supposed to tell?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No, definitely not.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What? Gracious.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yes, this is a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a bucket.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Definitely a bucket. It's just a tractor-shaped bucket.
Is this a bucket?
Yes. Yes, it's definitely a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Yeah, see? I was correct. That's a bucket.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Oh, God, no. That's not a bucket.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Oh, I can't get off the stage. Yes, this is a bucket.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a
The
bucket
bucket
is something.
was
and
the
therefore
friendship we
nothing
made along
could
the
possibly
way.
be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
No.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago, I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Or am I a bucket?
Stanley, I can't keep doing this.
Yes, you are
I'm
buckets.
losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
Oh, no.
I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game.
No, no,
Okay.
no, no,
Yeah.
don't do that. Do we become a bucket if we
happened?
drink something?
Is everything gone? Why
Possibly.
did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
Everything
Every
was actually
single thing in the
buckets.
game was a bucket.
Every single thing
My
in the game
God,
was a
I
bucket.
had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
How could this
So
be?
this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset
Everything was a
everything,
bucket.
and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Yes.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
It's all buckets. It was all buckets all along. Oh, this is definitely different. Where are we? Ooh. Fricky. Fricky looking.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And why does it look different? Oh. Look. The whiteboard ending? Wait, hold on. Is there something else?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. Nor
Bucket's back.
did it advance the story in any way.
Sad news is we found such a way that we're not buckets. So disheartening it is, isn't it? Of all the things we could have been, we were not a bucket.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled.
Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Our whole lives, it's a lie. I truly thought we were buckets, but I guess we weren't. Dog mode. Yes, dog mode. How dog mode? Boost the narrator? Did I mess up by bringing the bucket with me? Can I put the bucket back? Oh my god, I just sound like a dog. Oh, that's glorious.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
And we
There's
shall.
something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Oh my.
In here,
Said the bucket.
go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Caution. Caution, caution. I got a dog in me. Oh,
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life
tell me
together.
apartment. It does, doesn't it? When the bucket is the voices. The bucket is quite the voice, I gotta say. Sultry.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
Oh my.
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Can't close the door. This is a nice room. Oh, what are those? Those. Thought those were like some phallic object for a second there. I like something. I just the boss one. Straw's gone Pharaoh. Pharaoh berry. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press V to take me to work with you. Sure.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Are you sure? Oh, the computers are not interactable. Take him back home with us.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Ooh, this is new. Sunset. Nothing interesting, though. Go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me, Mr. Narrator. We're more than that. Don't listen to the loud man. Let's go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is this awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Alright, I'm gonna go to the ladies' room real quick. I'll be right back. I'm back. Yes. Oh my lord. Oh, those dogs, man. It's trying to break my world? Nah. I trust a bucket to never break my world. It would never do that. Ignore everyone in your life except for me. Of course, my buckets. I would do exactly that.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Does, doesn't it? It's a gorgeous, gorgeous bucket, Mr. Narrator. You believe I'm real, wouldn't you, Stanley? Yes, I do. I do. Buckets. Wood? Wood what? Wood the bucket, Peanuts?
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier. More
Oh
capable
my.
of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Oh, Mr. Buckets. To relive the same day with me over and over again. Absolutely. You
Oh
temp?
my god, what am I saying?
Yeah, I'd probably tempt.
Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Go home. To work. To home, to work, to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the bucket.
Oh my.
No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me?
my.
I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Look at that, Peanuts. Looks like Mr. Narrator is also gonna tap the bucket. Romantic atmosphere here. Oh my. Oh. Those sensual paintings. Okay, my love. The bucket waifu, the best waifus. Take the slow.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket,
No,
Stanley.
it's
I
mine.
need it. Give it to me now.
It's
Give it
mine.
or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. No! My buckets. Our love is
All
gone.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. A good bucket.
Back.
A strong bucket. A humble bucket. A committed bucket. A bucket of culture and distinction.
Oh, yes.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Really?
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than... No,
Nah.
never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
The Doro anthem. Sorry. It's... I did... Yes, you're right. I put them in my buckets. I have to fill my bucket with
said the
something.
bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Was there something I still need to do? I think so, right? There should be something up there.
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
Or no, maybe
There's something up
that's-
there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question
This-
why or
oh,
how this
gracious.
bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this
Duh,
obvious fact.
gracious.
He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket
Okay,
asked.
okay, Peanuts. The bucket is more than filled now.
No,
Don't worry.
stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem
anthem
is that
will
you
be back
actually
eventually.
don't know what is a bucket and
But I
what
might
isn't
shorten it a
bucket?
little bit.
I suppose that would
Just
explain
a
a
little
lot
bit.
about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have
With
dire
video,
consequences
hopefully.
on the entire rest
If I
of
can
the
ever
game
get that to
if
work.
not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh, gracious. I think I might have just gone one of the other endings. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, maybe no bucket this time. I want to finish the video game ending. And I think I might just call it a day there. I don't know how many more endings there are to this game, but I might just Google it after this.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Oh wait,
Perhaps
actually
he
no,
wanted
there's a
to stop by
telephone
the
one too.
employee lounge first,
Pick up the
just
telephone
to
without the
admire it.
bucket this time.
It was okay.
Alright, those two
But
endings.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah. Is that the same painting? That looks different.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Are you sure?
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove
Thing is,
that I'm on
oh
your
no,
side.
it not be
Give
disrespectful
me
at
a
all.
chance.
Please,
Now
feel
listen
free.
carefully, this is
Send me a
important.
link. I
Stanley
need
walked
help with
through
it.
the red door.
If you're able to do so, I am fully willing to watch it.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No,
I still
no.
don't think we're communicating properly. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to
Yes.
find out what lies at the end of this road
Absolutely.
you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth
Yes.
ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Oh, yes.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see.
Absolutely.
Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better?
Open
what
world.
did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me.
Fighting.
You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Thrilling
Tell you
action.
what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this
Oh,
new version.
goodness, it's terrible.
Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1?
A 1?
That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
A VIP redeem. How would that work? Oh my. That's funny. Intro sequence. Oh dear. We're the last one. I wonder if those are real statistics. Probably not, right? Give a special badge to our username letting you know we love your content. Oh.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep
I
walking
don't know
through doors?
if that's that
Again,
work.
honest answers, please.
How do I give special? I know that you can get badges from the tier list when you subscribe, but I don't know how to give out badges. I have to look into it. I'm not sure if I can give out badges. I don't even know if Twitch have that function, but I would definitely do so if it does have the badge.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a
I'll see
prototype
if
of a
it's
new game I've been
available.
working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
Oh, yes.
I think the art world will really take notice.
So
But of course,
tedious.
the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So
That's
why
not
don't you give
happening.
it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
No.
Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Goodbye, baby.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
Oh, yes,
Let's
please.
see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work.
Drifter might be
Let's give it a
comatose.
shot.
It is quite late. Oh, is there a function for badges? That'd be interesting.
Ah, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's
Do
our
not tread on
backstory?
me.
What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some
You're
sort
not
of
wrong.
twisted erotic purpose.
Oh my.
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience
Oh,
of total
nice.
mental depravity. So far, I
still
love
see the picture.
everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's
That's
even
the
more.
MC of Firewatch.
Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
The Diamond Bridge? Is that what it is? Oh, Diamond Badge. I'm not sure.
Oh no, it can't be.
Quick, run! Before the narrator
It
stops
is.
us.
It's an open world game. Good God,
Get outta
quickly
here.
block it off.
No!
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close
Too
call.
slow.
You nearly
Oh, we can
wandered
still
off
see
into
through
that,
the gaps.
that thing, that big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any.
In another stream. Purple
Thank heavens
diamonds.
we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley.
Do we
Okay,
give out a
I'm going to
PIP
get us
badge?
out of here. Let's
does it
find
work
another
exactly?
game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Rocks.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Do you have to pay for the purple diamond
Wonderful.
badge?
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't
Does it
any
work?
possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley,
Sports ball.
I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley,
yes.
here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Narrator. I'm having 5 channel points. Huh. How high of channel points are we talking, though?
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
Oh, yes.
Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then
On the
surely
creator
multiple
dashboard.
balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop.
Rose.
I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable.
Okay, I'll
More
definitely look into
balls.
it. Whoa. Okay, Mr. Narrator, let's chill out with the balls here. I'll be sure to do that. Well, before next week, I guess. Adding rows.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game?
Yes.
Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over.
No.
That's right.
My
Your
balls.
little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley.
How could
Besides,
you, Mr.
You need
Narrator?
someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I am structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And
That's
since
not
you decided you
true.
didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best.
That's right.
Take care, Stanley.
Okay. You could have at least left a ball in here for me to entertain myself. Oh, Straw, so sad he had balls for such a short time. I know, right? At least give me a longer duration to have balls. Damn. Mr. Narrator is very strict with ball having time. Very stingy with it. Anything I should be doing? I feel like jumping into the hole again is just gonna give us the same ending, but nothing seems to be happening. Whew. Oh, well, hole option it is. Down the hole we go. He neutered it must be for our time. He really did, didn't he?
Hold on. What are you doing?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come.
It's just the same ending again, I think. Oh, man, I screwed up. I thought this was gonna give us the other one. Guess not. Alright, we'll just do the last one then. We'll answer the phone without the bucket.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Yes, never be alone, ever again.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
It was okay.
Just okay? Just okay? Damn.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Should add a bucket to stream keywords. You're right. Oh, man, I wasn't thinking of it. Whew.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Thanks, Mr. Narrator.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
That is true. We weren't in the
This is
bucket at
it,
the time.
Stanley. Your chance to redeem
Real
yourself.
shame.
To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
Fresh bread.
Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Whoa. Good gracious.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife
Aw.
who'd want to commit their life to you?
Yes.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
See how you're so committed to me. Maybe you can be
Sorry,
my wife instead.
but you're in my story now.
Okay, maybe we'll be the wife.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee 427. At least you got a female figure. It's not too bad.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Damn.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures.
Nuh-uh.
From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions
She
into
is
the
not
unknown.
taller than me.
Fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Wow. Why to press Y to watch TV?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
Where's my
First, he
TV?
imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to
Go on.
realize that all of his co-workers, his boss,
what happened to my-
everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
My
The
TV.
thought excited him terribly.
Don't lie to myself. I'm not lying. I am a truther. Nothing but the truth. Spend time with the boys. Oh, that's fantastic.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful
corn.
to behold.
Corn? Prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
Falling apart.
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Wow, this is getting meta. Tell your kids a story. We have children?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Tell your wife. I love you, my wife.
But there is no answer. How could there
dear.
possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
It's turning into our office. Go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. I'm a little sad we lost our dog. Which is fine, I guess.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself?
No!
How can I get him to see what I see?
I didn't.
How can I make him look at
I'm
himself?
alive, the dog. It's merely taking a nap. It's got tired from all the barking. Press P to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
Maybe.
And I tried again.
Please.
And Stanley pushed a
Wow.
button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Well then. Just to check. Just to check if we're locked in.
All of his
Ending.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Game just
No
restarted.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Well then, alright. I guess I'll end it here for today. Not too bad. I think we found basically almost all the endings. If there's a few I missed, I'm sorry. I'll see if I can find them. And if we ever have time again, which is God knows when, we'll come back to the game if it's interesting enough to replay those endings. Well then, y'all. Oh. Until next time. Yeah, it's hard to say. And actually, it's in 10 years now. The achievement, 10 years. Oh wait, not that one. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. Don't play Stanley Parable for 10 years. 10. It's no longer 5. They've increased, I don't know. New players can ever achieve that now. It's a whole decade. Alright, I'm gonna leave now before I die. Bye-bye, everyone.